Okay guys, here is the one issue I have with the Werk Pzkpfwiii kit. These are the tires for the wheels, right? And we have a number of different hubs, right? Based on what's happening in the kit, right? So you've got like the inner hub and the outer hub, and then you have the spares. So the problem is that when you cut these off of the sprue, they don't actually fit on the hub. It's a super tight fit. You could press it on, but they don't fully seat. It's difficult to tell, but I believe there's a very slight taper in the design of this hub. So you have to cut these off of the sprue, and you have to cut these things out here. And what I've devised is a way to sand the inner diameter of the tire. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these off, and I'll show you how it fits on the hub, and then I'm going to sand it down and see if we can get it to work. We will pick this up in a minute. Okay, so I've gotten the tires cut off of the sprue, and I've got a hub here, right? Let that thing focus. So now the idea is that you just, of course I've had to like clean this up with a file, and you know, on the inner diameter as well. Got a little bump there, but that's okay. So now the idea is that you put the tire onto the hub, and I'm going to go ahead and press this down as much as I can. Okay. Now, in my mind, this should be a relatively simple process, right? You put it on, and it should fit snug all the way to the bottom. But here's what we have. We have this case. There's no way I can apply enough pressure to get this hub to fully seat inside that tire. So I have to clean out the inner diameter of the tire. Now let me show you what I use. I have a semicircular file. I do that to get the nubs off of the sprue that's in the inner diameter, but I will run it around several times on the inner diameter of that tire to get myself started. Then I have this piece of wood, round piece of wood here, right? I believe I got these wooden sticks at Hobby Lobby, if I'm not mistaken. So I just took a piece of sandpaper, cut it off from the sandpaper sheet, and I super glued it to this piece of wood. And the idea is I put it inside the inner diameter of the tire, and I move this in a circular motion to get the inner diameter of the tire sanded down. So I'm going to try and shoot this for you guys, and then we'll test fit it on my hub here and see how it fits. So far I've been successful. I've completed most of the tires. These are the last three I have left, but for you all out there that have this Werk Pzkpfwiii and the Pzkpfwiii, this is a common problem for both kits, and nobody's really talking about it. A buddy of mine who's building the Pzkpfwiii told me about this problem, so I had a little bit of a heads up. And another friend of mine actually completed the Pzkpfwiii. He had the same issue, and his problem was so aggravated, he forced them on there and ended up cracking the tires. So I wanted to avoid that, find a quick method to clean these things up. This works pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and get set up, and we'll shoot that and give it a test. All right, so got myself set up here. I've already sanded this a little bit, but let me show you what's happening. Take my circular file and just kind of semicircular file, and I go around the inner diameter of the tire like so. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and do it to these since I haven't done them yet, or one of these anyway. And this is to knock off any remaining bits of the nub and stuff and kind of get yourself started. Of course, this is a lot coarser and will dig a little deeper than the sandpaper. So kind of go around a couple of times, right? And we'll make one more round. Okay, now I'm going to take my sandpaper thing and I'm going to hold it still and I'm just going to run the tire around. Okay. Do it like that until I'm comfortable. Right, and you can feel it getting in, and then if you look at this, you can see the wear pattern here on the inside, right? So you kind of see that inner portion where it's not actually making contact. One of the gauges I've been able to use is when I start getting regular contact in there, then I think I'm pretty close to having it done. So I'm gonna run this around for a little while longer. You can move the stick around like that. Obviously, you're gonna have to hold this with your fingers. This is tedious because we're talking, what, 12 tires per side, plus I think there's another 4 spares. So you have to do this for all of the bloody tires, otherwise they will not fit on the hubs the way they are supposed to. And generally, this is a really nice kit, but I can tell you that this tire thing, hey, shame on these guys for not sorting it out. I really wish they would fix that in an update to the kit or something, because it's tedious and it's a pain and kind of messes up the flow in an otherwise really great kit. So if I had any complaints about the model, this would be the only one. The instructions are good, they're pretty clear, but this thing is a pain. So I'm going to give it, and then the other thing you can do is go around kind of like the outside of the wheel, since this isn't a flat file, right, to knock off any nubs or anything like that, because you can see where I'm cutting it off the sprue, right? So I like sanding that down, and then I kind of just gently go over the top, because the file will kind of make this edge a little sharp. Do a little bit there. Now remember, if you look at where it was cut off the sprue, this is actually the back side of the tire that's going to seat up against the hub. So let's see where we are. And press that down, press that in. And voila, that's pretty good. I think I could sand it a little more, but that is pretty darn close to where I want to be. See, it's not quite flush, but if you look at the outside there, that looks pretty solid. So I'm going to give it one more go here, right? And I could tell the fit is way better than it was coming off the sprue. So I'm going to run this thing around maybe for another 30 seconds or so, right? And you can squeeze it pretty hard. I have not broken one of these tires yet. Like I said, these are the last 3. And we're going to see how well this does. Another few seconds. All right. Now, I'm going to press it on. And yep, that's pretty good right there. So it takes much less effort to get this tire on now. And that's how that works. Pretty simple, tedious procedure, right? You can look and see, these are the other tires that I've done, right? Get them cleaned up and put them in. So what I like to do when I paint these, what I'm going to do, obviously I'm going to prime them, right? And then I'm going to paint them with a rubber black color. I like using a Tamiya rubber black. Gives me a really good rubber appearance. So my plan is to prime these, prime the hubs, then I'm going to paint all the tires before I put them on the hubs, right? This way I don't have to worry about masking or going through that tedious process of painting each individual tire while it's on the model, blah, 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 blah. Ain't nobody got time for that. So if I can, I like a kit where the tires are separate from the hubs, because for me it makes it a lot easier to paint. And yeah, so that's that. That's how you do that. Relatively simple, and you can see it really doesn't take a lot of time to do. Everybody's going to have to find what works for them, but this will make it, well, for me, this is the easiest thing I found to make this work. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will send some progress updates on the rest of the model as I go along. I plan on having this thing done for my model club meeting in September. So, hey, we'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.